One take. That's all we get. Welcome back to Malachi's Guides, everyone, where we want you to win too. Today we're going to be changing the strings on an acoustic guitar, and I will also demonstrate how to change the strings on an electric guitar. Hoy cambiaremos las cuerdas de guitarra clásico también electrónica. You'll want to look at a guide to make sure that you're putting the right kind of strings on your guitar. Now, unlike our fathers, we have the ability to just look online. So look up your guitar's make and model, and they'll give you the best results. This guitar is actually aging. If you get a little closer, you can see that there's green inside the frettings, just like the Statue of Liberty. Now the tuning here is really good. It's got it built in on the top. But you can hear that dead tone. So the first thing we're going to do is open up our package of strings. And we're going to see that they come in 6 different sizes, obviously, one for each note that we're going to play. When I tune it up, it will be just as a standard E, A, D, G, B, E formation. And of course there's a guide here. These are the 80-20 coded. They're just your standard bronze strings, but they're designed to last longer. I don't really care to save the package, you can just bust that open. We're going to loosen just one string at a time, una a la vez. Solamente aflojar la cuerda. Only loosen. So. And the reason we only do one at a time is to protect the guitar neck. If we let them all go at once, we'll release the tension, and then the instrument will be not ruined, but it's an expensive fix. So once you have this looser, much looser than this, you don't want it to snap back and cut you. Now you can use a pair of scissors for this. It will probably chip the scissors. I've got a heavy-duty pair of pliers and wire cutters as well. So the first thing we're going to do is come right in here and just clip that wire. After that, we'll loosen up here and get this string out of the way. If you have a winder, it'll make your job a little bit easier here, but it's not necessary. Be careful because all these are going to be pretty sharp. So especially watch out for your face here. Fingertips go back, right? Alright. Now the reason why I'm changing the strings on this guitar, I was actually learning one to impress a girl, which is like the motivation behind a lot of music, I think. And if you look closely, you can see just how awful this has been. I haven't pulled out this guitar in a couple years, and you can kind of tell just by all that dark coating along the inside. So we don't have any need to keep this. The next thing that's important are these pins on the bottom here. These will hold the little gold ring at the bottom to make sure that your string stays in place as you're tightening over here. Maybe too well. Alright, so I'm going to push in the string a little bit. I don't know how well you can see that. That'll get that gold ring off, to make it slightly easier to pull the pin. Now these are all going to have different sizes. Of course, the larger the size, the lower the string note. And then I'm right-handed, so I fret with my left. So I'll be putting the low E on the top this way, and then the high E at the bottom. Alright, so the next step is to find our thickest chord here, which is going to be one of these bad boys. this guy with the gold. After I stick it. Now as you're putting this in, you're going to feed the gold ring down into the hole a little bit further than you need to. Then you'll start to slide in your pin. Pull up on the cord as you push that pin in, and that'll help hold the place. But you're going to want to watch this carefully the whole time. In case I didn't mention it a second ago, you want to cut above the hole in the body. Cortaste el cuerpo. Now, we're going to carefully rung along the neck of the guitar, and you'll see a little rivet up at the neck that holds the string. It's just a little cutting. Then you'll want to run the string from the inside, and I'm actually going to loosen this one up to make my job easier. Less likely to have a problem that way. Yeah, actually, let me just go ahead and loosen that way up. Alright, so as you're running this, you'll want to make sure that it comes from the inside, going outward. Can't find the hole. That's what she said.
Michael Scott.
Uso como antes, perpendicular al cuello. Maniobra de abajo hacia arriba, de adentro hacia afuera. Eso es lo que ella dio. Solo una bromo en español, pero es perfecta. Está tan sobreutilizado, todos pueden entenderlo.
Okay, so we're gonna run the string from the inside through the rivet. Careful not to do that. Good way to lose an eyeball. I meant to do that just to show you, everybody. Now that we have fed the string through the hole, we're going to want the length of 1.5 tuning keys, or medir una latitud y media. And that'll give you just enough extra. You'll want to leave a little bit on because as we're tuning these, as we're playing for the first few days, they are not going to stay in tune at all. And that little bit of extra string will make sure that we don't drop it as we're tuning it up eventually. So then we're going to hold this up, and we're going to be careful as we're winding to make sure this pin stays in place. We stay lined up with this rivet. We don't run into this other cord. So just for my own sanity, I'm going to pull that one now. Cut above the body. Cortaste el cuerpo. There we are. Okay. So now this string will no longer be in my way as I'm winding this one up. And you're going to want to make sure that you wind underneath. Watch this as you're going. Mira esta parte con atención. And then we're going to torcer debajo. We're going to make sure this wire twists underneath as we go. So we're going to hold this in place, and we're going to start winding it up. And give it a little bit more feed there. Already crimped it. You can see like some funny finger movements going on here. And then make sure that this does not go over the top of itself. Torcer debajo. string through. And we don't actually need that up at tune at all. Currently, we have that at a D flat. Oh, sorry, D sharp. A little bit lower than that. Okay. So, with that, we're going to move on to the next string. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to make sure we get this off. As the strings get smaller, they get that much easier to pull. Just get that out of here. Same thing that we did before. We're going to feed this string down. We'll loosen up this pin. Now we don't have to worry if they're out of order. We'll just pull that up again. And this will be our second smaller string, which has been marked kindly for us with a red ring instead of a gold one. Same song and dance as a minute ago. Make sure that you put the string in a little bit, feed it down, begin to feed your pin into the hole, and then pull up at the same time. So as you tighten this, it creates its own little grip. Alright, run it along the body. That hole lined up so it goes directly, so it's running horizontal, perpendicular to how your neck is running. Yeah, perpendicular to the neck. That's a good way to phrase that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fed through. Just as before. Except this time I'm gonna try a little harder not to. Yeah, that didn't even. I hope I haven't screwed up this whole guitar string now. The bigger ones are a little bit more forgiving if you make this mistake. Okay, you'll just want a little bit of your string poking out the end as you wind it. And that way you get more winds around the key and that holds the string in place better. Keep it underneath. Good. Bien, bien. Hacer debajo. Hopefully I didn't bust this string. Don't let it overlap. No passes. Haha. Out. Good, good. Much better. So as you can see, we have that nice tight grouping. It doesn't overlap at all. That way if we need to tune up or down, we won't have to worry about the wire being suddenly let loose or tightened a whole bunch. Again, we're going to cut the string at 1.5 tuning key lengths. Medir una lanitud y media. So right about there. Feed it back through. Crimp the wire. And start twisting it up again. A winder does make this a lot easier, but it is not a necessary piece. Okay, so we've been building from the outside string to the outside peg, and then we're going to keep doing that all the way through. When we come down to the bottom half, again, from the inside, we're going to go to the far end, middle, outside comes to the bottom again. So as we're tuning this, we're going to make sure we keep it in line with the same direction as the other two. Turns it up, tunes it up, So this one we're going to want to make sure to turn the same way. Now we pull on the wire a little bit to crimp it. Hold down. This one will be a lot easier than the other two. Just less likely for something to get in your way. Because of course you never want to take off all the strings at once. It might look like a good idea, it is not. A little bit more like that. You want a few rings on the tuning key, otherwise the string will just pull out at some point at like the highest velocity it possibly can. And as you can tell from my thumb right there are definitely safer things to do with your afternoon. Have fun working tomorrow. Ha ha ha. And we're just going to wind that pretty much forever. Not really, but yeah. No passes, don't let it overlap. Get you on the right track. Watch down here. Veo con atención. Look at attentively. And that's nowhere near in tune. For the rest of the strings, we just kind of do that the same way, but it's going to feel a little bit opposite. Again, we want to tune them down. That's up. And to balance your neck, you want to twist these, you want to tighten these on in the opposite direction of what you put on your low strings. And get that nice and loose. Cut above the body. Catarste. El cuerpo. That sounded healthy. Well, you're enfermo. I'll wrap it up that. Try to remember where you put all your strings. Good starting step. Put in the next pin. It's not quite lined up right. It's going to get a little bit more difficult to deal with the pegs down here as the strings get thinner in width. Get out of there. Hold that one nut loose. Okay. And again, the same thing here, except complete opposite. We're going to feed this through the inside to the outside. Grab it before you let go so it doesn't snap back and hit you in the face. For like the millionth time tonight. Okay, so these... Oh, wait. So as we tune these, we're going to twist this direction. So first of all, let's make sure that we got some to wind, not a whole lot. That looks about right. You want 1.5. Times the length between two of your tuning keys. Come sit down closer to you. We twist away from the body. So in order to balance the neck, we're going to twist towards the body as we tighten these up. And as you might guess, as the strings get thinner, crimping them becomes more difficult. But you gotta watch. Use your index finger, your thumb, your middle finger, and just make sure that that does not overlap. No pases. It's no bueno. Keep this in its own track. And of course, if you have like the key winder, it's a lot quicker. It's probably about where we need to be. Oh, excuse me, that should be G. Ha ha ha.
5% low on your phone.
Cool. Is it still running? Okay. So we're going to call that good for now on the acoustic. Just to give you a demonstration, I'll break out my electric to show you some of the differences there. Alright, so we'll put Frank away, and now we're going to break out Roxy Carroll. This one was given to me by a fan. I almost wish I would have made it just for her. Okay, so we have tools that come with a guitar with this many components. It'll come with a set of its own Allen wrenches, spare pickup string with my whammy bar, screwdriver head for other stuff. Okay, so all of these are going to have a different fitting. Now, as you see up on the neck of this guitar, this will hold the tuning for the most part. For fine tuning down here, our set of Allen wrenches will let us tune up and down slightly. And then for a little bit more, they gave us these little knobs. Now, as we take these strings off, and again, I'm not going to on this one, demonstro. So, when you're going to change an electric guitar, now you have something different to worry about besides the neck. You have the bridge. This thing will make sure that your action stays put, it supports the neck, and of course all of your pickups are underneath of it. The last thing in the world you want to do is drop the bridge. So you're going to change one string at a time. Una a la vez, no dejes caer el puente. Do not drop the bridge. Beyond that, as soon as you have them all lined up and plugged in, you can tune them up. Then you can tighten these down over here, make sure that they're where you want them to be. Of course, if you want to change to a song with a different tuning, you'll just break out your Allen wrenches and you'll tune it basically on stage in front of everybody. I didn't really get a good shot of this before, but your Allen wrenches down here can kind of adjust the bridge. You want it to be flat, as you can see. I do not have it perfect right now. And then these tuning knobs up here. Now these come on more expensive guitars, but these will help you fine tune. So you don't have to tear apart your neck every time to make sure that you are where you want to be. Well, thanks for joining us here at Malachi's Guides, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.